welcome back, World Changers. This is my third take because I made a couple of mistakes, so even I make mistakes. Today we're going to be looking at functions. This was a request by one of my followers or one of my students, and so I hope this helps. And it coincides because we're actually learning about functions today in 6th grade. I'm going to give you just a brief overview. This thing can be more advanced and more multi-step, but for today we're going to keep it simple, but keep in mind this doesn't mean you can do every single function, because again we can add another layer of complexity to this one. All right? So functions, let's talk about the why first, or when, or how we are going to use this. So function is more prevalent than you know. If you went grocery shopping this weekend with your family or loved one, we did input output. When you put in groceries into the cart, you're adding more money, correct? Because when you go out to the register and you check out, that's your output, correct? So sometimes your mother, your father, your grandfather, whoever takes care of you, when you want to add things to the grocery cart, they might say no because they understood that output is going to be more expensive. Input, output. When you're budgeting, your family's going to budget. When you're old enough, sometimes some of you might already budget. If you have an allowance, you're saving money and you're allowed to spend money on Roblox, or if you're playing Fortnite and they use kind of a money exchange also, you know you're going input, output. New skins on Fortnite, well, it costs this much, so what's going to be in my output? Is it worth it? If this skin costs this much, is it worth me outputting my money? So input, output. You can use input, output of functions for eating. They say whatever you eat when you put into your body is going to affect you emotionally and physically also. So if you eat a lot of junk food, it might make you feel bad. Sometimes it'll make you look bad if you eat excess calories and whatnot. So functions we use a lot. Now you see behind me, I have two ways you can do functions, and we usually call it function input, output. And even one more example is using your calculators, right? If you put the wrong number in, if you put the wrong sign in, if you put the wrong operation in your calculator, your output will give you the wrong answer. Right? It'll give you the answer that the calculator computes, but it'll still be wrong because you put something in wrong. So input, output. Notice here we have x and y. That ties into a coordinate plane, which I did in my last lesson. So normally when you do something like this, your x and your y, the next step would to be put it on a coordinate plane. Then we have input, output here. Notice I do not have x and y. Here, input, they usually signify with another letter. Today we're going to call it n, but I'm jumping ahead. Let's get it right here. So on this side, they usually will give you a rule to solve for y. We do not know what y is, so to solve y, we got to understand what rule, what function do they want us to know. So they might give us y is equal to 2 plus x. Right? So they're telling us the answer y is going to be 2 plus the variable x. X is only right here. So where do we get these numbers from? And I'll call them here. So 2, 3, 4. So we just plug in each of these numbers for x. So instead of 2 plus x, we'll do 2 plus 2, which is 4. So that is my output. So for wherever we see x, we just plug in these numbers. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 4 is 6. So that is input, output. It can get more complex, or the difficult can get harder once we throw in negative numbers, whether we're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing negative numbers. That is integers, and that's for another video right there. So hopefully that one helps out. Now, in this case here, they will give you the answers. Here, they give us the rule, we found the answers. On this one, it could be they give you the answers, but you have to figure out what the rule is. So let's just say we have 1, 2, 3, and this one will be, I made a mistake last time. I put the wrong number in and I paused the video and like, wait, I messed up. So if I make a mistake here, I'm gonna go with it, all right? Because even math teachers make mistakes. So let's make this -1. And this one, so this is just going to have to be 0. This is going to have to be 1. Notice this pattern right here. So as I go further to the right, here I'm increasing by 1. Here I'm increasing by 1. Make sense? On this one, I am increasing by 1. I went from -1 to 0. That's understanding integers and number line. If you don't, I can make another video on that one. Then from 0 to 1, I'm increasing by 1 again, right? So I got to figure out input, output. If I put in, I'm going to -1. So here, I got to figure out my rule. My rule is going to be in, and now, which will be these numbers. N is going to represent 1, 2, and 3. So 1, and I get to -1. So I lost, right, on the number line. If you draw a number line, give me a moment. Here's my number line. Here's 0. I'm at 1. And I went from 1 to -1. So I go 1. Let me choose another color. 1, 2. So I went back twice. So I lost 2. So my rule might be n minus 2. So wherever we see n, I substitute n for these numbers and subtract 2 and see if I get my answer. So if n is 1, I do 1 minus 2. 1, 2. It gives me 1. So let's try the rule, same thing, n minus 2 with 2. So instead of n, I'll say 2 minus 2. Remember, n is my 2. And if I subtract 2, because that's my rule, do I get 0? Yes. So if I go to, come on, 2, that is my input, and I follow the rule, n minus 2. If I go here and I take away 2, 1, 2, that is 0. If I follow the rule, n, let n be any number, an input, and I still subtract 2. So instead of n minus 2, I'll plug in 3. 3 minus 2, that gives me 1, which is right there as well. So that is a basic overview. That's a one-step rule. There is a two-step rule, which my honors students are doing. But if you want to see a video on that, let me know. If you want to see a video on integers, let me know how to add, subtract integers, or multiply and divide integers. I can make a video on that. Hopefully this is a quick overview. Please replay it if you need to. If you have any further comments or questions about that, let me know as well. Please share and like the video. It helps my channel out because I want to help you out. Thank you.